You are listening to the Arcade Brothers only on the 4-eyed radio network, The Fern.
Hi, this is Kyle from Arcade Bros. If you're like me, you like a little joy in your life. We're proud to present that we are sponsored by America Joy Print Shop. If you need cut vinyl, store lettering, business printing, forms, card magnets, and anything else printing needs, America Joy is the one for you. When you contact America Joy, just tell them the Fern sent you.
Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of the Arcade Bros. Of course, I am your host, Steve-O, Player 1, and my co-host, Player 2.
That's me, I'm Kyle.
And, this is episode 65. Getting up there. No, actually, it's 66. Never mind.
Even more.
So, of course, you can find us at www.arcade-bros.com, part of the 4-Eyed Radio Network, known as The Fern. For more information, visit 4eyeradio.com. To listen to the show, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Zune Marketplace, BlackBerry Podcast, Miro Guide, Mixcloud, and Double Twist simply by typing in Arcade Bros and Enjoy. Also on Spreaker. We're also brought to you by America Joy Print Shop, the official sponsor of the 4-Eyed Radio Network. Business cards, flyers, posters, banners, vinyl cuts, car wraps, and more. Visit AmericaJoy.com for more information and tell them the Fern sent you. Also, don't forget to check out Raven Designs, illustrations and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com. We got a bunch of shout-outs this week. One of the biggest shout-outs we got this week, or the biggest follow, I'd have to say, is, I forget the guy's name. I was trying to find
That's how good he is.
Well, no, I guess
he posted that thing on the Facebook about it, saying, like, I can't believe this guy's following us.
Yeah, he actually was on, he used to be on Attack of the Show. He does his own podcast, Chris...
something or other. Chris Banana Face Majestic.
Or something, but yeah, he followed us and a couple of other shows on the network, so I guess we're moving up there. I guess somebody saw something, so I guess we have to just wait until Chris Hardwick starts following us, then I guess we make it.
Set. Yeah, I started watching that too. He has that thing about Skyrim. They do the cops Skyrim. I started watching those all like since they got the new season now, and yeah, it's a hilarity.
So Kyle, if you want to hit up all the Facebook shout-outs and our Twitter shout-outs.
Yeah, I'll give them a shot. Basically, these are people that we've had follow us, and either like I've missed them or like I just maybe might have scanned over them, just because unfortunately like a lot of you guys we know, or a lot of you that follow us were friends and stuff, so sometimes we take it for granted when we're like, oh yeah, they followed us, great, about time you sons again. But like this is just to make sure that I've hit all the bases. These are people who I might have thought I've done but maybe not, so I just wanted to make sure I got them all, because I got our stats that said we had quite a bit of followers. So with that said, all the Facebook followers, we have Rockford Stice, Eric Perez, John Hernandez, Daniel Armfield Jr., Vincent Paul Martinez, Raymond Montez, Lexi Mays, David Hacker, Suzette Martinez, AJ Holm, Austin Cox, Jake Ivek, Laura Michelle, Zachary Devani, Chance Tanner, Brittany Louise Medlock, Jim Miller, Arthur Colonel, Ray Gutierrez, Rhea Hendrickson, Angie Lienz, Kevin Elliott, Kurt Zupin, Nicole Renee Steele, Nathan Zod, Thomas Hanks, love your movies, Forrest Gump is awesome, Shauna Ellison Bullard, Brenda Fuller, Paul Brainerd, Jeffrey Hilton, Gabrielle Farrow, Ana Maria Munoz, Samantha Missel, Justin Reed, Mark Norman, Jessica DeFrost Hotley, Brandon Knox, Cale Diefenbach. He was also the guy who was Aquaman during the Injustice. James Laird. Kyle Booth.
What?
Remember when we did the Injustice
okay.
He was the guy that I was like, wait, Aquaman.
I was like, wait, he was the voice of one of the Aquamans?
No, I wish. He was just he was the guy dressed up as Aquaman I was making fun of. But he turns out to be a pretty cool cat. He actually moved up to Seattle recently.
Yeah, good for him.
We have Kyle Booth. We have Ethan Baxley. Mike Ringo. Paul Schultz. Josias Alejandro Perez, Christopher Harrison, Mike Olivares, Jennifer Beagles, Christine Guerrero, Tito Labastidas, Chrissy Teverina, Robert Tabb, Jamie G. Ruiz, Adam Andrew Wahlberg, Law Stinson, Andy Pock, Chris Adams, Emily Hernandez, and Dwayne Benali. And you are now the graduating class of 2014. No, but yeah, so thank you guys all for following. Obviously, it will be a lot shorter once we start seeing the more recent ones. I found out there was a way in the book face that you can like narrow down the people who have recently followed, but because I wasn't able to do this time, I just wanted to give everyone a shout out. And also on Twitter, we have a couple new follows. We're up to like I think almost 380 now, almost
wow.
getting up to 400. We had at Hummingbird Game, at Hell's Bells _UK, at Dio, and that's like DEEOHZ, so Dios, at Project _Million, at Family Problems 1, at CG Ailing, at Lungs the Series, at Eddie Helford BDH, at Black Shell Games, and at Conmen Web Series, and of course at Nestor Tweets followed us. So we appreciate you guys for taking a moment out of your time to give us a follow or a like or a tweet or share or any of that stuff. So we really do appreciate it. Steve, I see today that we've been playing some stuff, and it looks like you've been playing a game that I actually want to start playing when I get home. What game is that?
No, this isn't the game you want to be playing.
Why? Why is this one?
Because this is not the TMNT you're thinking of.
Oh no! Is this the one that was like the Cartoon Network? Or
This is the
version?
Nickelodeon one, and I bought it thinking, okay, this should be fun, entertaining, because I love the Out of the Shadows. I still have not completed Out of the Shadows, but it's a phenomenal game, and yeah, I would like to actually play that with like more than just one person. But this is kind of the same concept, but it's based off of the Nickelodeon cartoon show of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Absolutely love the cartoon show, think it was a great thing, and I did put myself in that mindset, going, this is for this generation. And it is for these kids now and stuff like that. So if it is really easy for me, or if it is really not that challenging or whatnot, I will see why.
You would think that it was dumbed down.
Playing it, though, I'm going to have to say that Activision dropped the ball on this game big time. They really did not do a great job. So you start off the game, and there's the four turtles. They pretty much use the same concept between Out of the Shadows. Basically, you can switch back and forth between the turtles. Four people can play at a time, but you have all turtles on screen at all times. They all have their own life bars. You can pick up items like, throwing stars, smoke bombs, and stuff like that to help you battle. But the gameplay, on the other hand, you use basically two buttons to do everything.
Oh, so it's like this and
It's
this,
basically
this and
up,
this.
jump, and fight. And there's no really cool fighting moves. They all kind of do the same thing. Even the animation between things, like I really just wish they would have stuck with those cool kind of comic book cuts, but instead they try to bring, like, they'll have the turtles come in, and they're all voiced by the characters. Everybody from the show who does all the voices are in there, so you do have that feel for it. But the animation for when the turtles pop on the screen now, this is on the 360. It's also on the PlayStation, I believe, and it's also on the Wii U. So you're thinking the graphics should be pretty standable.
Stellar, yeah.
The voice syncing does not link up. Their animations are horrible when they're like on screen and talking, like when it's like just one turtle switching back and forth between their dialogue and stuff. And the gameplay is just not thrilling at all. Like there's no
challenges.
Like there's no challenge. Like even for I'll put it this way: the Lego video games are made for kids. I would say. Granted, you and I play them. A lot of people play them because why? They're entertaining. They're fun. They'll take the Marvel superhero universe, make it Lego, and they add all these cool little fun elements to it. That it's like it's Lego based, but you're also like, I'm in the Marvel universe. They did not do that at all with this game. It's just a very mediocre side-scrolling beat-em-up game. There's really no Out of the Shadow has tons of you're running upstairs, you're doing this, there's different views. This is just a very plain side-scrolling game, in a 3D dimension that is just not entertaining at all. I would not recommend this for anybody, even people who are huge fans of Ninja Turtles. Thinking, I'm going to buy this for my kids, we could play together and stuff like that. It is not worth it. It is a very bad game. And I just feel like when I saw Activision attached to it, thinking, all right, they did pretty good with the last couple of ones they did. This one, it's I just don't know what happened. It's just it's a game that really just dropped the ball on this. I'm like, you know what? You could have waited. If you wanted to polish this game up, give it a little bit more depth and everything to it, you could have totally done that. You did not have to release it last year. Heck, you could have released it this year, and you would have been fine with it. This would have probably been a great game during the summer to play as. if you worked on it more, but it literally feels like this game just did not get worked on. Like, yes, you do have the concept of actually leveling up your characters. You get points, you can add add new moves and stuff like that. But literally, there was these. I thought the challenge of the whole game was going to be like, oh, fully upgrade each turtle.
Right, like you try to customize them and make them.
Put it this way, I did 2 level ups, and it gave me the achievements already for all the.
Oh,
so I've already
that's stupid.
fully upgraded the turtles. Apparently,
You did good job.
and I was
star.
like, okay, to get any more levels up, you have to find all the mutagen canisters and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, and I get that. There's
It's like
time,
the dog tags from.
there's time trials
Gears.
and stuff like that. But I was just like,
Circus
this is really just kind of not
fun.
It's very just a
That
mediocre
sucks.
game. So I would not recommend this on anybody. I was just like, this is really bad. And I rarely say that about a Ninja Turtle game. I mean, most of the time they can do a pretty good job with it.
Oh man.
So that's what I've been playing pretty much this week. I
think I have that one. I think I did download that one just because.
No,
like,
it's not downloadable. This was a
like
game
free to play.
No, this is the game they released in store. It's basically Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Then
based
what
off
did
of-
I think maybe I have the demo or something because I have a version of that. I've played a bit of it.
I'll show you the game
Yeah.
after the show, but it's like
because it's the Nickelodeon version with a more cartoony looking.
yeah.
Like,
But
I think I had
it's
that one.
very horrible. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, what happened to this? I'm wondering if maybe you play with more people, it might be fun, but
maybe. Usually that's how it works though. Like the more people you play with, it's the better it is.
But it still was kind of like, all right.
Interesting.
So what about you? What have you been playing?
I played a little bit of a game called King's Road. It's a game that's actually on Facebook. You can play it. It's free to play. Obviously, if you subscribe or buy stuff, you can. The same kind of all those typical Facebook games. Like the more points you buy, the more things you can do, the more gems and stuff. You can basically choose a character, either warrior, mage, or archer. I was an archer for the most part, and then what was cool about it is I built up some skills as an archer, and then I went and changed to a warrior, like one of my levels. So then I had warrior skills that I was building up.
Yeah.
So I got to keep some spells. Like one is I had like a healing thing. There's a lot of like mini missions where you basically like walk through, you fight bandits and stuff, spiders or creatures. I think you can log on with friends and play as well. Like there's that whole like MMO aspect of it where you can log in. There's NPCs, and basically it's pretty standard. It's a top-down view kind of game. Simple. I had it kind of bugging out, and I always see, like, because I'm subscribed to it, I see a lot of Facebook posts of, like, servers down or this is down. So it's definitely a work in progress. It has its moments where it's working, and there seems to be a lot of content that is out there. Actually having their first kind of dungeons coming out soon.
Okay.
So I played a little bit of that. I played a little bit more of Iron Brigade. Still a lot of fun. I guess their new game just got released, too. The same guys who made Psychonauts. They made the Iron Brigade. They also were working on this game that just came out where it's, I guess, between like these two worlds. The Kotaku was just talking about it. It seems like it's very in depth, which I think I have it in the notes here. We'll talk about it on the show. The Skyrim, played some more Skyrim, and then we've been watching this show that I was just talking to Steve about called Steve Universe.
Yeah, that's me.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's actually really cute. It seems like it's kind of set maybe in like kind of like a Portland kind of town kind of thing, but it's really colorful, good character. Very good music, very good like action and stuff. So definitely, it's worth checking out.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that's where we're at.
Very nice. Okay, the character that I added for our character spotlight. Some people might know the character, or they might not know the character. His name is Dr. Fred Edison. And you're thinking, going, does that sound familiar? Does not sound familiar? Well, I'll give you a little backstory. This man was actually originally a character in a Nintendo game.
Ooh.
The Nintendo game, I believe, was called Maniac Mansion.
I remember.
It was actually one of those games that was very, yes. Dr. Edison really came into his own, though, on the sequel of the game. Now, the Maniac Mansion was a game that was actually basically probably one of the first point-and-click games that I could remember playing. That was actually for the Nintendo system, where you actually had to make decisions. You had a cast of characters and stuff like that and try to figure things out. There was also the next game that came out called Day of the Tentacle, which was actually by LucasArts and was designed for the PC and stuff like that. Very animated, again, back to the point-and-click game, but the concept of this game was one of the Doctor's tentacles that he created in the Maniac Mansion decides to go rogue and try to take over the world with a time machine. So 3 of your partners, one of the only returning characters for the Day of the Tentacle was the nerd character. They go into one is in the present, one is in the past, and one is in the future, and basically things that you would do in the past would affect the stuff in the present and the future. So you would have to do certain things for people to get these, items, in that certain area. So he was actually, I believe, the villain in the in the first game, the Maniac Mansion, but I think he was more of a subplot character telling you pretty much, hey, you need to help me fix this problem of pretty much anything that I did. So he was a pretty good character. He was a very maniacal villain. He's very kind of basic, kind of a bald guy, basically old school.
Yeah, like the old
doctor thing and stuff like that. But it was a very entertaining game. Actually, this is a game I wouldn't mind actually getting seen made a remake the Day of the Tentacle. Maybe beef up the graphics, the animations. I think it would be a very fun game. But if you can get your copy of this game, I would highly recommend it. It is a fun kind of point and click game. It's really kind of weird because it's also almost like a learning game because you do go into the past and you learn about stuff in history, in that part and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, very good game, very character that people might not hear, but his first appearance was in Maniac Mansion in 1987, and I don't think Day of the Tentacle came out until maybe 94 or 95. So they did have some leadway before, but after this, I don't think they had any more games, which was actually kind of disappointing to see that they actually were able to reboot a franchise, but that was it. So. Hopefully, maybe you never know. Maybe they might do like a 50-year anniversary, release both games, updated graphics or something like that. But they were pretty interesting games at the time, so definitely check it out if you haven't already seen. But that's my character spotlight for the week.
Yeah, it looks like I see a 3D model too. Someone did of the head of his. I'm not sure if that's just that you did it for fun or what, but it's interesting. Looks cool. 3D spotlight, 3D spotlight.
So I guess we have some gaming news. Most of the stuff I have no idea what they are. So Kyle, if you want to take it, I guess which one do you want to hit first?
We just go down the list. Banner Saga was a Kickstarter game that kind of got a lot of feedback because it was really just graphically beautiful. Well, now it's finally coming out where you can actually see gameplay footage, which has actually been hush hush. Like a lot of people haven't really had it available, and it looks brilliant. It's definitely got more of a tactics kind of game where you run up, you move your character so many spaces, you choose an attack you want to use. There's different classes of characters. It's kind of a neat story where it seems like it's about all the gods have abandoned them, and there's these people who are trying to find their way. Very Viking looking, style. It looks awesome. It's basically set to begin on the 14th of this year, January 14th. 2014. I think it's out. If you had kickstarted it, I think you already got it and you got to beta test it and things like that. And then it's going to be released to the public momentarily. So
okay.
A lot of people giving it good reviews. People say that it reminds them of Don Bluth, Ralph Baxi. It's got that very kind of stylized
artwork.
We're gonna definitely post the YouTube video of it because it's just it's really good to watch.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Oh, okay, and, yeah, look at that. That looks really good.
Beautiful it is. It's very well drawn.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Yeah.
So this is again how Kickstarter here. Someone thought the idea. I think on Kickstarter all it was storyboards and people invested into it because it just looked good. But then as you were playing the game, it's very clear that it's going to be a very fun, enjoyable.
Yeah, this does look pretty enjoyable. So it looks like you can pick your cast of characters.
Yeah, exactly. And
oh yeah, this animation looks really. See, I kind of like these kind of games. I know a lot of people like to go with the 3D kind of games.
Yeah, and here it's all hand drawn.
It's all hand drawn, and it just looks fantastic. So yeah, we'll definitely post that up when this episode airs. So definitely check that out. What else do we got going on here? It looks like we got upcoming free games on Xbox and PlayStation Plus. I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did that last week. Same games coming out. So I guess what really hit early this week was Kojima. Who's the inventor of the Metal Gear Saga. He's the creator.
Okay.
He had actually tormented his fans because on Instagram he took a photo of his monitor screen showing the loading screen of the newest Metal Gear Saga game that's coming out. Metal Gear Solid. So a lot of the fans were like, "Oh, when are we gonna get it? When are we get it?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just playing it right now." Enticing them to be like, "Oh my god!" So they're very close to having it done. No release date yet, I don't think, but they're very close to letting people know that it's coming down the pipe.
Okay,
so,
very cool. Yeah, see, that would be a game I would probably buy the PS4 for, but I think it's coming out for all platforms.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If it was if it was the Sons of Liberty that was literally just for,
right, just for
the PS3, which I ended up getting rid of anyways, just because of the loading. I thought about getting it again because I know they were like, well, we added trophies, and I was like, I wasn't that far into the game, so maybe I just restart it over, maybe get a better feel for it. But you never know. It's probably really cheap now, Metal Gear Solid 3, but it just was one of those games that I think it was really overly hyped, and I was just like, this is it.
Yeah.
Even Pat said like the last like scene of the fighting is like you fighting Revolver Ocelot, and you're both like old, and he was like, it's the most pathetic fight I've ever. It's just two old guys trying to beat each other up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like okay, but yeah, we'll see where we get that. We'll see. Usually these guys, that's actually kind of surprising if a Metal Gear Solid game is coming out this year for next gen consoles, because usually they won't come out for like a couple of years, and then they'll finally get released. Like they usually do like a March release.
So one of the other new games that are coming out too is this game called The Forest.
Okay.
And as far as most people can kind of understand it, like basically what it is like during the day, you're basically stranded out in this wilderness. And I guess it's an MMO too, where you're going to basically come in contact with people, and it's like you have to try to either work together or like fend off people. But how it works, I guess, is in The Forest is you build your structure, you fortify it, you go down, you chop down trees, you harvest. So it's very much Minecrafty, getting the things you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then it showed him he was out there at night with just like a flashlight or like a torch, and then there's these humanoids coming after you with like their faces painted very tribal, like running after you. And it shows him like fighting them off, and then one guy he knocked onto the ground, and then he picked up like a rock and like smashed him.
Oh wow.
And then it shows like then daybreak comes, and then like he's exploring like a cave, and you see like a whole bunch of bodies like everywhere. So it's definitely kind of more horror-ish, but it's definitely also more like it's kind of like that combination of Minecraft but horror.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer now. Graphics look really
it's very
beautiful.
first
and
person.
it just showed you like all the
Forest
like
and
yeah,
everything
it's
looks
showing
really
the
good.
forest
Like
now.
this kind of stuff here, like he walks up to this thing and he like lights it.
Boom. Yeah,
and you're just like, oh my god, like what the hell is this thing? Penny Arcade talked about it all this week, where they were talking about like the guy who like, I don't know why people are so savage playing this game. And then it shows like the guy like, hey buddy, hey, I'm over here, and like he like attacks him and just starts like murdering the guy. And then there's one where he's like, I used to be like you when I didn't have pants. He's like, come with me, I'll show you. And then he like I guess lures the guys back to his house and like murders them. So it's just like, oh my god, like what is this game about? So
that's actually pretty interesting. Very kind of open world survival horror.
Much,
so that's pretty good. So
and it looks beautiful. I mean, a lot of
yeah,
things,
it's very
like,
beautiful, well done. Yeah,
very pretty. So hopefully we'll see more about that coming forward. And then another one that they have coming out is this other one that looks great. I think again it's another independent, and the game itself is called Slug Cats. And as far as I understand it, it's I think the game is actually called Rain World. Is the game, but people are basically calling it, that Slug Cats game. And you can watch a little
I'm watching it now, like a little demo.
And you can see how he moves like a cat and things, but he also he's very like sluggy like. When he grabs like these bats, he's jumping up the walls. Like it's basically like a 2D game. Reminds me very much of like a Metroid kind of game where you're just like moving around, puzzle solving. They have a trailer out, and that also was through Kickstarter. And they're saying that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like this is definitely something you should check out because
this looks pretty like entertaining.
It looks very fluid.
Yeah, it's just funny how like just a simple concept and like the joy. I mean, that was like the game Fez. I know they canceled Fez 2 because the guy became a prick. But like Fez 1, it was such a simple idea, but with a unique kind of cool concept about the 3D environment. It's a 2D game, but you spin it. So, I mean, just this very simple idea, very simple artwork and stuff like that can always make your game. It doesn't always. I mean, we look at Rise, and Rise has like these graphics behind it and this thing, and it's a horrible game. Like I don't know anybody I know that's actually enjoys it. Like there's like, yeah, this is a really good game. You should actually check it out. But it's like that game took I don't know how many years to develop. And probably the best graphics right now because we haven't seen anything yet in the future of what to come with these new next gen consoles. But it's just like, again, it's like what you space 60. Like I guarantee this is going to hit marketplaces and it might be maybe $20 at the most.
Yeah, I think so, possibly.
And most likely that's just me going the most. It's probably going to be way cheaper than that, and you probably get more enjoyment out of it than you would a $60 game.
And it looks like, possibly multiplayer. They were talking about how, like, I guess as far as I understand it, like, the game is like you're this creature, and kind of like he moves like a cat, he behaves like a cat. He has more of like a slug-like body. But they were showing how like you have to hunt, you have to defend yourself, and the things look like salamanders coming after you.
Oh, okay.
There's this whole thing with like environment things, and I mean the animation alone, like it's 8-bit, it looks beautiful, like it looks very stunning. So definitely that's a game that'll be coming out soon. And they said like this is basically going to be the year of the Kickstarter. Like you're going to see a lot more independence, a lot more fun, like beautiful games like this where people who are like. It's kind of getting to that point where, like, I was talking about it, like, going into the industry and then working for 10 years and then finally maybe getting a team together and making a game is something you would do.
Yes.
Where now you're getting these guys who go into the industry and now are like, I want to make my own game, and now they can still work on their wherever they're working.
Yeah.
And then just on their side, they can like do these Kickstarters and OYAs and
well, a
help
big thing,
develop
with
it.
the a big thing I have to say with the just marketplace, just literally like more games are gonna. This is like basically kind of like the first year. Like the has not been out for a year yet. Like its first year will be coming up, I believe, in June or July. And there's already, I've been getting emails. That's what I really like about the They're already getting emails of upcoming games to look forward to, check them out and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming to the just independent game-wise, and it's a really cool thing that it's so easy to make it for that system, the Android operating system that they use. And these are things that PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, maybe, I'm not sure, but have looked into going like, we can make money off of these independent games, these, very independent friendly. It's like these people put their heart and soul into these games because if you think about it, there's really no one trying to like stonewall you if you're working on it yourself. This is what you want to do, this is the thing, and people can see the concept and stuff like that. But and then it basically all that would stonewall you would be the rating system going like, okay, this has to be a mature game, this has to be a teen game, this has to be a an every one game. But it's not really like someone's going to be like, well, you can't do that in this level or whatnot, unless the only way that's breaking you in that industry is going like, I don't know how to do this in this level. I'm going to research it, figure it out and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully this year will be the big pull for a lot of independent games and underground games. Heck, that one you showed me with that old style cartoon one, I'm like, that's a concept that no gaming console would have been like, let's do this. Let's make this old-timey kind of game. This is just coming from very creative people, and you get cool new styles. I've always loved those kind of games with just like a simple art style, and then it's like, oh, this is a side-scrolling. Heck, the Rayman games, all cartooned, all animated, fun as hell. Just you get to have a blast with it, and they have all this funny humor in it and stuff like that too. And it's just very basic and simple. So it's like, why not? I did like this one. So, man paralyzed after playing an arcade game.
Yeah, and this is kind of like, it's kind of an interesting story, because after reading it, it's like, well, technically, no. Like, I don't think the arcade is to blame. 3 reasons. Like, the arcade itself does tell you, like, you enter at your own risk. And you've seen these, like, you've seen videos of, like, basically it's a punching game.
Yeah.
And you try to punch it as hard as you can. You've seen people, like, break their hands because they miss it completely and they hit the thing next to them. So that's what happened. This guy, I guess, had and they even say, like, do not play this game if you're unhealthy, blah, blah. Because obviously you're building up exercise and things like that. So what happened was, I guess the guy punched it. He was playing it, killing time, waiting for his wife to get done shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And a few days later, he ended up suffering from, like, a spinal injury, which now made him, like, paralyzed. So his wife's, like, feeding him. He needs this surgery. It's, like, costing them a lot of money and stuff. And so they're trying to sue the game, the arcade now. And the arcade even says, like, well, like, we cannot correlate that because he punched this. It gave him this injury, like, 3 days later.
Yeah.
But also the machine does say, like, do not play this if you're not a healthy person.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, now they're, like, it's a big court case and they're talking about it. And I feel, you feel bad for the person because it's like, oh, it sucks that, just days before you were fine and now you're, like, basically crippled.
Well, I'll put it this way. Okay, people have put warnings on everything now. Now, everybody was bitching and complaining about when the Wii first came out going, it broke my TV. Okay, it did not break your TV.
You broke it.
There's a thing, and Nintendo, this is what I love. Nintendo came out and they go, okay, not only did they give you the things that go over the controller, so if you drop it or anything like that, it has this cushioning. They even gave you free bands that were more powerful, that wouldn't for the day. But the biggest problem is nobody put the wrist strap on, and then they would fling it too hard to do something, and your thing goes flying. And I get that. If you're playing a game and your hand gets sweaty a little bit and you're moving things around, it might slip out or it might, do that kind of stuff because it's a motion game. But on the other hand, it's like as soon as I got my Wii, it was like the first time it's like put the strap on. I'm like, all right, I'll put the strap on. It's like I don't want to throw my thing through the TV.
Yeah,
I don't
especially when it's a nice new TV.
It's like this is just stupid people. But it's again, people wanted to sue. Nintendo owes me a new TV. Nintendo does it, and Nintendo came out and go, look, we have a warning on the thing. Obviously, you don't know how to read. Fine, okay, we'll do this. And they did it for free. They were like, if you already bought a Wii system, they would say, hit us up, give us your contact information. Boom, I got 4 of those like things for the cushioning. I got the new straps and everything like that.
No problem.
No questions asked, no nothing. Heck, I didn't even have to have a Wii, and they were fine.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so there's a whole story you can watch. It's all in, I believe, Cantonese, so obviously you can't really understand unless you know Cantonese. But yeah, it looks good. Like, I feel bad for the guy, but it's one of those, like, again, like, was it the machine? Was it just you were
I'm going to do that. Oh, I was playing the Xbox One and it paralyzed me. What were you playing?
Nuts.
I was just playing Dead Rising. But you were just sitting on the couch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. But because I was playing it, it's why I'm going to blame you.
How long were you playing it for? 10 minutes?
10 seconds.
But you didn't contact me for a
Nope.
year. Nope.
Nope.
I'm lazy.
I'm lazy. We're going to say that's because I was paralyzed.
I was paralyzed, bro. Vita finally gets some releases, and some are downright awesome.
Yeah, they got some pretty nice titles coming out. One of which, right away, is when I heard it, I was like, that actually would be really good for the Vita. Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be able to play that on the Vita. They have a lot of other games like Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars. That's like an RPG. They have...
they're releasing the Final Fantasies
the
for
Final
it?
Fantasy X and X2 are going to come out for it. They have Demon Gaze as some type of like card game, magic game. They have a lot of... one called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc trailer. A lot of these obviously are more Destiny of Spirits.
Yeah.
They have a Dragon Ball Z game coming out for it. Another game that's kind of gotten a lot of hype called Dust Force.
Actually, speaking of Dragon Ball Z, I had explained the over 9,000 thing to Eric.
Oh, really? He didn't get it?
Well, he didn't. He's never.
He's never seen Dragon Ball Z.
But then the joke came. I was talking about it, and I'm realizing, wow, I know a lot about this show, and I haven't seen it in, I would say, maybe 5 years. And then I thought about, I was like, I always want to do an anime show. That would be kind of fun, like talk about different animes, like what's our favorite series, talk about the in-depths of them, all these kind of, background of the history. Was it a manga at first? Did it become a series? And then I came up, Matt's wife, Megan, actually said, because I was talking about anime, and she goes, Japanimation, she called
Japanimation.
it. And I was all like, Japanimation, I haven't heard that, like, at all. Or Japanime, that was it. Japanime. I was like, I like that.
Japanimation, I think there is it
is called that.
But
then it was like Japanime. I was like, oh my god, I should totally make a podcast called Japanime. So we'll see what happens.
There's one that looks really fun is another independent game, and it's called Dust Force. And that's basically what it is. Like, there's these creatures you have to fight that are all muck and grime, and like it shows her, one of the characters is like running up a thing, and she's like sweeping as she goes, so like all the leaves are getting picked up, or like all that kind of stuff. Like they're sweeping up all the dust.
Oh, okay, yeah, that looks pretty creative.
Another side-scrolling game looks fun. They have something called Freedom Wars coming out. But yeah, so like it seems like the Vita finally is kind of having the Wii effect, the Wii U, where like all the great titles are coming out for it now.
That's good because
price is coming down.
The Vita's been out for 2 years.
Yeah,
and it, like I said, the 2 years I was out, I haven't really been like, oh, I want this. I mean, there was literally 2 games for it, but then I was like, it's not really worth it.
That game Hohokum, I don't know if you saw any of that, where it's like the ribbon.
Oh no, I haven't seen
that rides around. It was displayed at E3. That's finally coming out for it. Basically, what it is just a game. It reminds me of the Roco Lolo or Roco.
Oh, Roco Loco,
where it's kind of like that game where you move and like the environment moves.
Oh,
so
very
like
cool.
Little,
I mean,
like,
Roco
dragon.
Loco was a really fun game. I'm surprised they only did I think they did 2 games and then one for like the PS Network for the PlayStation 3, but they haven't really done anything more with it, which is kind of sad.
So they have
again, another game, very simple concept, very simple artwork, very cute, very kind of this, and just the enjoyment. And literally, all you did was this.
Yeah, you just rotated it. Rogue Legacies, which is a game that came out for the Ouya, you should pick up. It's where you're a knight and you choose different knights you can be.
Oh.
And if you're a character, like let's say I was a knight and I was level like 10 and I died in the game, you earn money that then you can give to your second character, like basically your descendant.
Oh, okay.
So your descendant then has money, so then they can equip stuff and go in. And basically that's what it is. You have one life, you go through the whole castle or level, and then if you die at any point in that game, you get like this little plaque that says like, oh, he died valiantly on this stage. And then you have to start over, but you start off over with a character and all those monies.
All the stuff comes. Oh, okay, that's kind of interesting.
So that's coming out. It's going to be out for Ouya, but it's also coming out, I guess, also for the Vita. They're coming out with Ragnarok. Odyssey is coming out for it. Minecraft is coming out for the Vita.
Oh, okay, very nice.
They also have Soul Saga, which looks really cool. It's like an RPG. It looks like cartoony characters, but like in a very like in-depth, like detailed world.
Okay.
Kind of game coming out. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. They also have The Walking Dead Season 2 will be out for the Vita.
Yeah, they just released Season 1 for the Vita. So
Wolf Among Us
I mean, that's really... See, that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as, like they did that with the Nintendo DS, where they released, like, Donkey Kong Country Returns for it, and it looks pretty much how it does, pretty much almost on the Wii. So I'm kind of hoping Nintendo's... I mean, they're doing that with the Smash Bros. Game, how they're making 2 versions of it. So I really kind of hope that Nintendo and Sony both kind of take, hints from each other, obviously, and they'd be like, yeah, there is some games we should release for the 3DS that would do very well, But we'll see what happens. But that's great for the Vita. I'm glad they're finally getting some. I mean,
and then they said like the prices dropped already on it, and they said like there's a bundle coming out where you can get a Vita and a PlayStation 4 coming out.
Yes, that's actually
and then
probably
they
what
said by the time that comes out, then the Vita will be even cheaper, like come this summer. So I mean, like,
see, that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people. Like our one guest, she was like, "Damn it, I heard about this," and then so that's like another big reason that I'm kind of holding off on a PS4 is I'm kind of waiting for that bundle because it's going to be if I
because
bought.
you'll be able to universal.
Well, this is the thing. Not even that, but if I were to go buy a Vita now and then buy a PS4, it would cost me more.
Yeah.
But if I wait for this bundle set, it's going to be, I think, $150 cheaper than if you just bought those individual items. So like again, like I told Matt, I think my first next gen console I'm going to be buying is probably going to be a Xbox One, just because I know more people that have that, and also because I really want cable. So
yeah, exactly.
But other than that, it's just kind of like, all right. But yeah, like don't get me wrong, I want a PS4. I mean, obviously with the PS Vita, with all the great stuff that's coming out for. I mean, they're both, like I said, we're gamers. We want to play both. I mean, I still have a Wii U. It's not like I'm gonna be one of these fanboys or anything like that. So I'm gonna get definitely both systems. So don't forget that. And the cool part is, what I love about these systems is our IDs are going to be exactly the same on both consoles. So you don't have to switch. You get a new username or anything like that, because it's just going to link to your Xbox account, or it's going to link to your PlayStation 3 account. So
exactly, yeah. What's really cool too is this is the news that was released this week, where the game is called Broken Age, and I don't know if you remember, Double Fine is the studio. They made Iron Brigade, Psychonauts, all this stuff. The Kickstarter that they had started a while back.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, and I remember it blew up, and they ended up getting like crazy amount of money, like something like
they already beat their thing, and then I didn't see anything about it, but apparently is this it?
This is the game that finally came out. So the Act 1 is out now that for people to play. And what's cool about it is like you're a kid in a spaceship, like, and your mother is like an overprotective like computer that tries to get you to eat stuff and things like that. And then the other person is a woman on this planet where she's set to be sacrificed as like to appease the gods. And it's nothing like where you're like running from anyone, but like you're preparing yourself for that. But like whatever you do, you can go back and forth at any time. And like whatever you do up here affects down here, and whatever you do down here affects up here. So it's definitely a back and forth kind of a game.
Well, the art style I like. It looks really unique, very cool. And that's actually what's really cool about the Double Fine. Every game they've done completely different. They
don't have like a simple style.
It's like they did Psychonauts, then they did Brutal Legends, then they did that I forget what they're called, but they're like those little pop toys. It was just released for, I think, Xbox Live. Like, it was just a downloadable arcade. They did that because that was like another thing. But again, every single game, they're basically kind of like what's the thing that's really like that, where it's like a different feel every time you play. I'm saying they're basically like Johnny Depp every time he's in a movie where
they try to do something
he's
different.
A completely different character.
And that's kind of what they try to. I mean, you think about it too. The beauty of that is you can always change and do something completely different. Like, you never have to be stuck to, well, we did Assassin's Creed, we have to stick to that. And even then, like, at least they're going through history and changing it up and adding new.
But not only that, but you can't. There was no way they could go Assassin's Creed 5 is going to be all cell shaded.
Well, no, because people would just be thrown
People would
off,
be like, what the hell, So it's kind of like that cool concept where, like, if you make a game where you could just do a different art, and it's great because then you could have anybody who's an artist in their thing. Everybody's going to have a different art style.
What I will tell you, what would look sick as hell is if like Telltale or Borderlands, like that style of an Assassin's Creed.
Ooh,
that would look sick. Like, that would look freaking sick as hell. But yeah, it looks good. Like, the demo's out, like, for people to play. A lot of people giving it a lot of good reviews. It's been all talked about this week, so looks like that's finally come out. And again, like Kickstarter, people spending money. Like, that's what's beauty about it, is like you get enough people who are passionate about something, and we're seeing a rise in 2D games again, 8-bit games again, side-scrolling games again. We're seeing a rise in, like, this is like kind of one of those like choose your own adventure games, like Monkey Island.
Yes,
it's very similar to that. So like you're seeing these kind of games that are classic to like our generation, so it's not always having to be like the shooter or this or that. I mean, you're seeing a really eclectic style.
I actually remember when I jumped into the demo of The Walking Dead, and I was just like, oh wow, this is like those old classic point and click games where you have to make decisions and stuff like that. And it really kind of brought me back to that simple time of like when gaming consoles weren't really that big and it was more computer based games, and that was a lot of the games that are out there, and you just realize how much fun you would have with all this kind of stuff, because it really did try to make you think and figure things out, especially with those games. And of course, you can't really just think in obviously Walking Dead, sometimes you have to really make these split-second decisions, and it affects the whole outcome of the game. But yeah, it's really kind of cool to see. I mean, it's very funny to think like video games have finally became like fashion clothing, where they've hit their peak, but then they're actually going back to the past and trying to give it a new twist. I mean, there's so many times where you see clothing styles like, yeah, wasn't this the 70s, but that became popular, then grunge came back again, but they're calling it something different and all this kind of stuff. But it's like a simple concept. It's like, look at the old school Mario game, side-scrolling game, did the same thing with Nintendo, beefed up the graphics, still fun gameplay, still all these cool power-ups and stuff like that. And you're just like, it's just like an old school feel, but with a new twist, just because it's like the beefed up graphics and things like that. But heck, I think we would still be fine if they literally went Super Mario Brothers 4 and just gave us the old school graphics, put it in HD though, but old school graphics, throw it on the Wii U or something like that. It's the same kind of side-scrolling gameplay and things like that. We'd still be happy with that. We'd be like, this is amazing. This just takes me back to like Super Mario Brothers 3 and all that kind of good stuff. So, I mean, that's the really cool part with these kind of games that are really like very simple, very unique, and just have fun, because I mean, like we said, you could pay $60 for a game, get it, it's this is the best looking game of the year or whatnot, and you're like, this gameplay sucks, there's no depth to the story, there's no I mean, think about it, every Mario game that's come out, it's pretty much the same concept.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to go save the princess.
Exactly the same, yeah.
But we play it every time. I mean, heck, look at God of War. It's the same concept throughout every single game, but you threw in really good graphics, you threw in really good storylines. It's like, yeah, it's going to be the same thing where it's a button mashing game. Literally, that's what God of War is. They should just call it God of Button Mashing. And I would have been fine with that. You got a great character, Kratos. He's this like just kind of badass character that doesn't take shit from anybody, makes you feel like a badass when you're playing. Getting all these upgrades for your, weapons and things like that is kind of fun, makes you want to just kill more people and things like that, but it just has this really good driven storyline that you're just like, this is fun. So
I want to play more of this.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So anything else you want to touch upon or whatnot?
Well, I know like a new game's coming out for the DS, 3DS, the Bravely Default. We kind of talked about it last show. That comes out February 7th.
I still need to download that demo.
We got Infamous Second Son still looking good, March 21st. We have Final Fantasy PS4 version coming out sometime this year. Destiny, obviously for all systems, coming out for the 14th. I don't know if Wii U's getting it or not, but I know I saw Wii U's getting quite a bit of games coming out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's getting Destiny, just because I don't know if because of the online mode. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how well Nintendo's online play is yet, because I really haven't run into any games yet where I do online play. I think Pikmin you can do online play.
Cool.
But I still have to get that game, though. But other than that, I haven't really found anything. Like, I really thought would have been a cool concept. I understand Nintendo wanted to be like, bring family together and stuff like that, but playing Super Mario 3D World online would have been so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
But yes,
especially since you can log in.
But it's like you said, like Watchdog is definitely going to be,
hopefully that's going to come out. We have Final Fantasy X and X2 coming up for the PS3 and also
the Vita now.
And we got the Vita, we got the Watchdog, we got South Park: Stick of Truth. So as far as we know, no more
deadlines with that, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Super Smash Bros. Coming out 3DS and also Wii U. Donkey Kong Tropic Freeze coming out the 21st of February.
Looking forward to that.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Looks like for Xbox One, PS4, also to be determined.
Now, I was talking to some guys last night about the Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, do you think, I don't know, because they only showed us a teaser trailer, but they didn't really show us anything really in depth with the game, such as, the majority of maybe the new worlds. Do you think with Disney owning Marvel and Star Wars now, do you think they would throw something in from one of those universes?
I don't see why they wouldn't, especially if you're talking about building your enthusiasm for it. Like, think about this. Like, they've already kind of started teasing like posters. They started teasing like things about Final Fantasy or Star Wars and things like that. So like that would be like, how great would that be that all of a sudden you're playing it and then you're like with Luke in this, or maybe like the characters are dressed up like those characters.
Yeah,
you're just gonna help like boost that.
Boost that thing.
Like,
I mean, I think it would be a fantastic idea to do that, especially even with the Marvel universe. I mean, heck, you show down and it's like, boom, you're in like the Avengers, and it's like Iron Man joins your team or something like that. It's
exactly.
Hulk is the princess. You have to say.
I mean, this is literally like you have so many options. It's like now you basically have your Disney universe, your Final Fantasy universe, and then you literally have like 2 other universes now that you just got. So it's like.
Yeah, you can just kind of keep blending the worlds, which I think is great. We have the Elder Scrolls Online. I think they have one more beta before it comes out, and that's April 4th, supposedly. Mario Kart 8 for Wii U, which also looks good. I saw more trailers of like
Yeah,
the
I watched another trailer on that and just watching like how the cars kind of break down and how they do things and stuff. But like that's to me, that is a game.
That one screenshot, like it looks fun, like just a photo of it.
I just hope that they improve upon from. Don't get me wrong, Mario Kart Wii was a good idea, but the only thing I did not like was when we wanted to play multiplayer. We wanted to play multiplayer with just 4 people, 3 people at a time, just kind of like old schooling it. And this one literally was like you had to play against you 3 or you 4 who were playing, and then every other computer in the game. And I was like, I don't want this.
Yeah, I just want
to have fun with my friends and stuff like that. We'll see if they decide to do that with Mario Kart 8. I do pretty much sure they are going to have online motion options. That they did do that with Mario Kart Wii U, where you could basically race anybody around the world, which was kind of fun.
Nice.
You'll see what happens with that. And of course, we also have the
Wolfenstein,
the New Order, which will be coming out for pretty much all consoles. I don't know if it's coming out for Nintendo at all, but
no idea. Same thing. But then again, it's one of those like, as long as it's coming out, I think as long as they still come out for PS3 and 360, you might see it on the Wii U because it's kind of that same capability. But if it's only like PS4 and Xbox One, I don't know like what the capabilities are for the Wii U.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Nintendo Wii U can support HD graphics, and I mean, obviously, it's been getting the Assassin's Creed game now. It's getting like the Watch Dogs and stuff like that.
It's gotten,
I mean, the sad part is UBI Software already came out and said they're like Nintendo basically has the perfect system for the games we want to do with it. So I don't know if they did contract with Nintendo, and that's why they have been doing a couple more. I mean, Rayman Legends was going to be a Nintendo exclusive at one point. So, I mean, that was kind of a big money-making deal. I do have to say, I did come up with a Get Gaming question of the week for next week. I would say this. What is a game that you played that was really like, let's see, like very like it surprised you, like you just like whatever, I don't care, I'm just gonna pick this up, or I rented it, it could be from your past or whatnot, and it was just a game that just like,
and that could be good or bad, like you thought like, oh, I heard this was good, and then you play it like, oh no, like this is not, or you're looking more like, I heard about it, and then you play it and you're like,
and you're like, wow, why didn't this get the press that it needed or whatnot? So that would be the question for next week.
Sounds good. We did have about 43 people check out our one last week saying about favorite superhero game, but no one replied, so I don't know like what you guys thought. But you guys are obviously seeing them. Like I see that you guys are noticing them, so maybe this question you guys will hear, and if you do, we'll give you a shout out on the Twitter and the Facebook.
Of course, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can go to @arcade_bros on the Twitter. Also, you can follow us individually on Twitter. I am @Stephen Mooney Jr. on the Twitter. Kyle?
I am @Mooney Studios.
And also, don't forget to check out the arcade-bros.com, part of the Fern Network. And if you want to game with us, if you go to that website, you'll see all of our gamer tags. I'm on Nintendo, I'm on Xbox, I'm on PlayStation, I'm also on Steam. I'm on as well. I still trying to figure out the multiplayer on that. I know they do advertise it, like there is even that Meltdown game that came out. There's you can jump onto a server or whatnot, but they don't. They are still working on how their thing works, because literally they don't have any headsets or anything yet.
Right, so community.
So I don't know how you would do that.
You just yell at the screen.
Yeah.
Go left.
But so we'll see what happens with the Oh Yeah. Hopefully big things will happen with the Oh Yeah this year. I mean, already I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's, like I said, it's $100. You're really not out like that much money. It's probably the cheapest console that's out right now.
And now there's that other version where like you get the white version, a little bit more space too.
Yeah,
so.
But even if you just get the basic version, like I have the USB drive that I got that's like 16 gigabytes, and I've been just downloading things to that like game-wise, and my thing is still golden. So it's like it's all you can do. So, but I guess that's it. So I guess until next time, kiddos, keep on gaming. This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. Bomber!